Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Panthers Report right here on the Mark Mosey Show. And it's always sponsored by the fine people with Florida Tech Athletics. We're kicking off the new year with the head coach of the Division II national champions. Yes, head coach Katy Freels with Florida Tech Soccer. And I've been waiting to talk to this lady. Coach, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks so much, Mark.
And if you could see right behind her, right? I think is that the trophy?
That's the one. So it's a I don't know, 30-pound trophy. So it's a nice one. It gave the office a little bit of a revamp. That's for sure.
When I talked to you back in August, and you came on multiple times during the season, you had expectations for the year, and I know you had big goals. But did you really think, oh, yeah, this team, we're going to win a national title? Like, what was your mindset, especially as the season went on?
Yeah, I think for us, it was one of those things where we knew we had the talent. I think we said that in our first meeting, like, we have enough talent in this room to win the national championship. So many things have to go in your favor. A lot of big moments have to go your way. And I think, we challenged the girls with, like, if we can come together as a team and, put the team first and, get that aspect of things right, then we're going to be in a really good situation. And credit to the girls. I mean, it was not an easy year. We had a lot of ups and downs. We had a span where the season could have gone one of two ways, but just such a great group of girls. And I think their character came through at the end. They invest so much into the team, and we asked them to do a lot of hard things, and they all willingly, they bought in and trusted us with what we asked them to do. And I think at the end, it was pretty cool for it to pay off in the way it did. It would have been a great year if we hadn't won, but the way it paid off was really special and just a memory that we all have for the rest of our lives.
Coach, I think the last time I had you on was right before the conference tournament. So you guys go on a run there. You're there in the championship for the conference tournament, penalty shootout.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that, did you think, all right, we're going to go on this 6-game gauntlet through the Final Four? Like, were you like, all right, we're ready, let's go for it?
Actually, I think the conference tournament was a really big moment because I actually struggled a bit with that. I think we didn't win the game. We didn't win the tournament. We lost in PKs, but from a coaching perspective, I think I got it wrong. I think we set the team up in a way to play that wasn't the best way for us to play, and it was a hard pill for me to swallow, I think, for us losing that. So I actually needed a few days after. I was pretty upset, pretty down. It was actually, again, the girls were like, some of the girls and some of the leaders on the team were like, all right, we got this. And again, it all worked out how it was supposed to. The brackets lined up in a way after the tournament. And I think after a few days of, I wouldn't say pouting, but just being like disappointed with things from my perspective, it was like, all right, now we know what we need to do. We had like kind of an idea of like, all right, we need to go win 6 games, and I think that, like, for us, it was a moment where we knew, again, we could play with anybody. We knew we could do it. It was one game after another and kind of getting locked in on each moment. So it was definitely, that was a big moment for us, and it allowed us to be successful, I think, when we played them in the Sweet 16 game. All
right, looking back, 6 games to win a championship. How hard was, emotionally, everything, how hard was that for you guys?
We didn't, obviously we looked at it one game at a time. We were very locked in, I think, on executing and performing and not allowing it to be an emotional roller coaster. It was very matter of fact, we have a job to do. We're going to do this. We're going to execute this. I think it took a lot of energy, for sure. It took a lot of energy, but I think each game kind of added a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum for us. By the end of it, I think we could have played 5 more games and won all 5 of them. I think we were in such a good place that it was just, we just kept kind of like, moments were going our way. We were playing well. We were executing. We were winning close games. We were winning against really good teams. And so I think a lot of that tournament play that I learned, and this is kind of my first go at it, it is a lot about the feeling and kind of how you can create the energy and the excitement and the confidence and belief within the group. So I think we got that right. We have great leaders, great senior class, great players from top to bottom. Everybody did their roles. Everybody was just so bought in. And again, it created this kind of, this momentum and this feeling. And we had the quality to, and the tactics to play with anybody as well.
You win the 4 games postseason, and you were playing some of them at home. Then all of a sudden, and you're used to your schedule, the weather here in the Southeast.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, yeah, you guys got to go to Colorado Springs. What adjustment was that for the travel and to play in those conditions?
Yeah, it was something we were aware of. I think we flew out a day earlier than we were meant to fly out to adjust to the altitude a bit. We went out there. We went on a hike. Had the girls just trying to get them breathing in the air out there a bit. It actually ended up being, I think, unseasonably warm for Colorado weather when we were out there. But we had to go buy cold gear. We didn't have like Under Armours and headbands and stuff. So there were some fun little things to it. I think our girls felt like they could run forever, honestly, after playing in the heat all year and then going out there. So it was fun. Again, just like seeing new places in the country, traveling together, being together. I mean, we had like a hike right outside of our hotel. Like it was beautiful. I think that was something that, again, just like created this feeling of special, like just, it was a special thing for us to get to go out there together.
And it was pretty, but at the same time, the killer instinct's like, we're here to win.
Yeah.
A vacation, right, Coach?
Yeah, no, we got that right. It was definitely not like, nobody went out there with like, oh, this is a fun trip to end our season. Like nobody had that mindset. And again, we didn't really speak about it. We didn't really like address it, but we knew we had a job to do. We knew that we could do the job and we had the talent and the ability to win it all. So I think it was, it was a fun trip to kind of get to travel together and just to be together some more.
Okay. In the semifinal, you win 1-0 against Cal Poly. 1-0. We'll start there. Then we'll get to the championship game.
Okay.
What were the keys to that victory in that semifinal? Because look, only 1-0. One play was the difference. What were your thoughts, Coach?
Yeah, I think we knew Cal Poly was a fantastic team. I mean, they won it all the year before. They had been tested this year. They had come out on top. They were a great team. They have probably one of the best players in the country. And Vanessa Cruz, one of their forwards. The way that they play, they're fast. They're just dangerous. They're dynamic. Their experience, like all of those things, we knew that they were a tough team. I think for us, there was a little bit of nerves because we were unfamiliar with them. We didn't really have any mutual games or opponents, or we just didn't really know much about them. We just knew that they were good. I think, again, our mindset going into that weekend was just, let's be us. Let's do what we do. Let's be brave. Let's be fearless. We belong here. We can do this. And so I think, big games come down to moments. And we had the quality and the players. And in those moments, we were able to execute on both sides, offensively, defensively. In the middle, we're able to, compete and fight and keep the ball. And it was really, it was a tough game. And I think it's one of those that could go either way. But we felt good about having control of the game and coming out and not being intimidated by the moment, not being scared, getting on the ball, playing, keeping the ball. And being able to run with them and transition with them as well. So the girls executed it brilliantly, and then big players stepped up in big moments, and we were able to keep the season alive.
Okay, now I have like 10 questions. Now we got that out of the way. Just look, this whole thing, because you're going to be telling these stories for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You guys won a national championship. All right, you get there. You're the final two. One game to go to win it all.
Mm-hmm.
When you woke up that morning, what was that feeling like for you and your team where it's like, hey, we're going to go play for a national title?
Yeah, I think everybody was probably on different places. Again, we really tried, like in our environment, we really tried to minimize what was happening. Like we did not mention national championship. We did not mention this is the game of all games. This is we really did emotionally try and minimize the moment. To allow them to be themselves and to execute and to not get too overwhelmed by it. So it honestly felt like any other morning. I did get a little bit more nervous that morning than I had previously. I think because those thoughts start to creep in and you fight them back and you're like, all right, we got this. It's just another job to do. I think for us, we had gotten in such a good routine with like meals that we ate, team walk, stretch it, like the different type of things that we did. And I think once we started kind of getting into those rhythms and routines, it kind of allowed the girls to just settle in and say, all right, this is another game, another team. We were familiar with Franklin Pierce, which was super helpful. I think once we got to the stadium again, like kind of the nerves, beautiful stadium, just big moment. You can kind of sense that. But again, we really kept it on from our side, coaching wise. It's just like, all right, let's go execute. Let's play with this mentality. Stay present in moments. Like, I think it was us trying to just give them tangible things that they could do to focus on so they didn't get lost in the magnitude of it. But again, big characters, and they all did really well.
All right, so then you guys win this match 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
So the championship question, what were the keys to this victory, Coach?
Yeah, I think for us, we were familiar with them. We knew it was going to be a passing game. We felt confident with our ability to pass and move the ball. I think we came out, we took it to them, we pressed them. The field was a huge field. The surface was bigger than any field we'd played on, which suited us and our style and how we wanted to play and spreading them out. Again, it was about being brave with our starting positions, being aggressive, giving up some things that we had to give up in order to be as dangerous as we wanted to be going forward. And so I think, yeah, the girls executed. We weathered some storms. Again, they came out. They came out at us pretty strong, and we weathered a couple of storms. Caitlin made a few big saves, a few sliding tackles from our defenders, and then we settled into the game and started to really control the game. I think for us, getting the goal was huge. It took some of the pressure off and just allowed us to feel confident and continue playing. And then second half, we changed some things tactically, knowing they would probably change some things tactically, and also just the moment and what kind of we needed in that situation. And the girls executed. It wasn't our style. It wasn't how we like to play, but it worked. And I think for us to score 2 goals in transition last 15 minutes was a testament just to the growth and the maturity of the group to go from being a passing oriented team to also being able to, withstand some pressure and score in transition and counterattack. So again, it was such a great display for me from a coaching side in terms of just seeing the girls execute some of these things we talk about. It's such a high level and such a big moment. And they're such brilliant players and people. And we knew we had the character. We knew we had the spirit. We knew we had all those intangible qualities. So for them to go out and get to have the moment that they deserve was really cool.
You put this team together with you and your coaching staff. Were there moments maybe at the end there where you start reminiscing about recruiting and fall camp and all these games? Do you start getting emotional thinking about, because I'd get emotional. Yeah. What was that moment like? Hey, we're going to be champions. You love this team. Did you have those moments for yourself?
Not immediately after. I think there was so much going on, but the girls, at some point it hit all of us because I look out and everybody's just bawling. I think everybody's crying. And then I see my husband and I start crying. Everybody's just crying. And I think it definitely was an emotional moment because how much we put into it. I think the girls, we really tapped into that relationship piece for the team and just how close that we all were as a team, how much we love one another, how much we put in for each other. Everybody gives everything, no matter the role, no matter what they're asked to do. And I think that's one of those things that you see that it works and you see that it matters. And I think, in the celebrations after and just kind of, it's been whatever, a month now. And just kind of in that month, you definitely are wow, what a special group of people, what a special run we went on. There's so many personalities, there's so many stories, there's so many different situations we came across and everybody just, it wasn't always easy. There was a lot of hard moments and a lot of hard conversations. And I think everybody just really, their character came through in the end. And I think that's what we're most proud of as a coaching staff. It's just brilliant people. Obviously great players, but just the way that we came together as a team and just did that together was really, really special.
Did it hit you you could talk about it, but did it hit you when they gave you the trophy? Now it's real. I could touch it. Was there that moment?
Honestly, no. I think, like I said, we minimized it so much that it was just another game. And so after it was just wow, what just happened? That was more of the feeling that I had is what just happened? I think it wasn't until we came home and then the term national champs came, was a tag now. And seeing people and seeing family and just I think having conversations and it's become more and more real. And the school did such a great job celebrating the girls and just, I think them coming home and the celebrations there and I definitely think it's starting to sink in a bit more, but it was in that moment, it was just what just happened? What, this is just crazy. But it was, it's one of those things that it's hard to put words to in the moment, but I think once you get, down the road, we'll be able to kind of verbalize how we felt and what it was.
Is this the standard moving forward to win championships as the head coach for women's soccer at Florida Tech?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's not how we like to do it. It's not something that I think is productive or helpful or puts them in situations to be successful. I think innately they're going to feel that pressure. They're going to feel the weight of expectations a bit. I think for us, it's about being very process driven, doing things well, training hard, pushing them physically, mentally, understanding the game from a tactical. I think it's just about doing things the right way, getting good people in the room. I think, again, so many things have to work in your favor to win a championship. They're out of your control. That like it's not something that we talk about, and it's not something we're going to talk about. But I know the girls are going to take a lot of confidence from it and feel like, all right, wow, we can do that. It is possible. So I think maybe more of that than anything.
How many, if I put you on the spot, how many seniors did you have on this team?
Yeah, 7 seniors. So it was a very senior led team. All played important roles in different ways for us. All players that either we brought in or they were with the previous staff and stayed and were loyal and committed and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a big class. It's a class that could not have happened to a better group of people winning in that way. But they were huge for us, and they, I think they were huge for what they did on the field, but also the legacy they leave and the way that they turned the program around from their freshman year to now. And so it's a really special class. There's no way we'll replace them. We're not going to try. We're not going to even talk like it. But I do think that for them to get that moment and for us to be a part of it was really special.
All right. What I love with your answers is like, you're very humble. You're proud of everyone. Was there a moment behind closed doors where you kind of did the fist pump? Yeah, I know there has to be. Come on, coach.
Yeah. I think after each game, actually, like as we got into the tournament, I'm pretty like emotional person, I would say, but like I was trying to be so unemotional because I think that's what they needed in those moments more than anything. So there was like after a few of the games, like it was going to bed and I just started bawling my eyes out for no reason. So I think that's when it kind of hit me. It kind of hit me like, wow, like
positive.
This is, yeah. Like this is really cool. This is really like wow, like just I don't know, maybe proud, like just so proud of everybody is probably the biggest thing. But like, I think that there's definitely those moments for me. But I think it was more once I was like quiet and not busy and thinking about what was next and just kind of like allowed to like process stuff a bit.
See, here's what's interesting. Okay, we won. That's not the end of the story because you're recruiting, right? It never, you got to go recruit new. You said you lost 7 seniors. How's recruiting going now here in the off season?
Yeah, we're behind. We're definitely behind. And I think that that's something that wasn't really expecting in the season. We kind of put recruiting on the back burner. It's just, between Scott and I, there's only so much we can do. And we did not want to take anything away from the team that we had and the run we were on. So we put a lot to the side. A lot of people were committing and making decisions and moving forward with their fall 26 class. And that's okay. I think for us now we're catching up. We have a good group coming in. We need a few extra pieces, I think. But yeah, it's good. It's really, again, recruiting so important, just to finding the right people, right fits, right players. So yeah, we've been pretty busy, a lot of calls, a lot of emails, going to showcases. Been pretty all hands on deck with recruiting for sure.
You have a great equalizer. Sorry, I've been behind. We won the national title. I love it. That is so awesome. That really is. Yeah. So, and by the way, I did see some of the posts. They're awesome. Where you guys get back to campus and everyone's cheering you on. You got the shirts on. That's an awesome scene. I hope you cherish that forever, Coach.
Yeah, it was really cool for the girls. And just, I mean, the one picture that was like pretty iconic was our captain holding the trophy up, and just again, like for the school to come out and support us, like we felt the support from everybody, even when we were in Colorado, but for them to come out and classes were over at that point too. So like those were just people that were in the area or still in teams competing or whatever. So it was a great moment for everybody. And just, I think there's still confetti all over the parking lot, I think, but
yeah, I was proud. Yeah. Where in the moment you guys win, and I went on Facebook and just posted Panthers national champions. It just went crazy like wildfire. Like, yeah, like that. It's just so awesome. All right. Yeah. What are we getting for jewelry? What's the game plan? I'm going to my hand. What are we getting? Coach, do you have a say in the design? What happens?
Yeah, the our AD's been kind of he's kind of led the charge with the rings, and he picked out some really cool ones, and then we got to get our input in there and kind of what we like and stuff. But I think for us it's going to be a special one. It's probably going to be a big one, way too gaudy, not very practical, but I think it should be pretty cool. I got to see it and it looks really cool. So Jamie's done a great job on that, and I think that's something, again, the girls are going to show their kids one day.
Yeah, I think it should have a gigantic panther, just gigantic.
There you go. There you go.
Diamonds everywhere. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, Coach, all right, so you guys are recruiting. Is that just because now it's your off season, but what do you guys usually do here in the spring going into the summer then?
Yeah, the spring for the girls, from the girls' perspective, it's for us, it's all about kind of individual development. So getting girls just individually, the fall is obviously more about team and performance. Now it's a lot about growth and how we can get players from A to B. And, I think kind of figuring out what our fall team is going to look like, how we can continue development with players in different roles that maybe they had in the fall, but the spring they're going to have different, so I think it's a lot of that for us. We get pretty creative with it. I think it's important that we do different things and they learn in different ways, and it's not just the same old. So I really enjoy the spring. The spring's probably one of my favorites, just in terms of we're going to go play wall ball one day with just kicking the ball against the tennis courts. And then we're going to, we'll do some off campus runs and just different things that they'll do a project or research project. It's just, we get creative with it. I think, it's different, but it makes sense. And I think for anything principles and things that we're learning and how we're growing is important. And I think that they're going to understand that now, having kind of seen the impacts of it. And, there were moments in the fall when we said, we look at what we did in the spring, look at what we did in the summer. And I think the confidence you build from those tough moments, and, maybe a little unorthodox, but I think it's something that's going to serve us well going into next fall as well.
Great stuff. Coach, thank you so much for coming on again. Congratulations on everything and good luck with the off season moving forward. I hope I can get you on again. Okay.
Thanks so much, Mark. I appreciate your time and all your support.